Hi friends, how are you? I hope all things are going well with you at home in these COVID disaster days, aren't you? And welcome back to this video class on the lesson, the poem, the lines written in early spring by William Wordsworth, the second lesson of the first unit. I think you might have watched 2 episodes of Kite Victor's online classes on this particular chapter. Now I would like to handle this session as a revision class. See, first of all, let's have a profile of William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, one of the major figures in the history of English literature, was born on 7th April 1770 in Cockermouth, United Kingdom. In collaboration with his friend Samuel Taylor Coleridge, he published a collection of poems titled Lyrical Ballads in 1798, which marked the beginning of the Romantic Age in the English literature. His semi-autobiographical work, The Preludes, is considered to be his masterpiece. He was Britain's poet laureate from 1843 until his death. He passed away on 23rd April 1850. The poem was composed in the form of a ballad, which is included in the collection of lyrical ballads. What do you mean by a ballad? Yes, right. A poem or a song that tells and narrates a story. Shall we read the poem? I heard 1,000 blended notes, while in a grove I sate reclined. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. To her fair verse did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. The speaker Wordsworth appreciates and contemplates the nature for her godlike abilities of linking a human soul to herself, but at the same time he also feels grief while thinking of the cruel atrocities of man who has separated himself from the mother nature. The men have become so self-centered, we refuse to look beyond our own immediate pleasure and luxuries. Through primrose tufts in that green bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and it is my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. The poet is highly appreciative of the nature's beauty, and he finds delight and happiness, pleasure and luxuries in the beautiful flowers, and he has faith and strong belief that the flowers enjoy every ounce of fresh air they breathe. The birds around me hopped and played, their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. The poet observes the birds which are dancing, singing and hopping around the poet, and he is in a wonderful and magical world. Though he does not understand and comprehend their language and their thoughts, he recognizes that the birds are creating all these movements out of their sheer pleasure and joy. The budding ticks spread out their fan to catch the breezy air, and I must think, do all I can, that there was pleasure there. The breeze flowing is sweet and light, and the ticks are spreading out as if to catch the sweet and light and fresh air. And the speaker can only do is to gather the pleasure and happiness, the luxury and beauty in their existence. If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I no reason to lament? what man has made of man. Here, lament means cry in grief and complain. The poet concludes and laments that the human do all these atrocities among themselves and the cruelties to nature by destroying the ecosystem. They create discord, discomfort, displeasure and disharmony. All these wrongdoings are against the holy plan of nature. In short, this wonderful poem reminds the readers of the beauty and appeal of the nature and the value of enjoying and appreciating their existence and the need to prevent and protect nature from all the harm. Now let us discuss the tone of the poem and the settings of the poem. The poem is set in a small woodland grove, a beautiful landscape, and the tone of the poem is very calm, peaceful, but the poet is strong against the cruelties of the man. The poem becomes much appealing because of the abundant use of the various poetic devices and figures of speech. We can see imagery, assonance, alliterations, a rhyme scheme, rhyming words, personification, hyperbole and anaphora are the very important things to be noted here. First of all, let us discuss imagery. There are 5 main types of imagery, each related to one of the human senses. Auditory images, that describes what we hear, and the words related to music, noise and silence are examples for auditory images. Visual images are there, that describes what we see. The words that are related to colors, patterns, shapes, size are visual images. Tactile images are there, that describes what we touch or feel. The words related to texture, movement, temperature are the tactile images. And olfactory images are there, that describes what we smell. Nice fragrance, bad odors are olfactory images. The last one is gustatory, that describe what we taste. Sour, bitter, salty, sweet, acidic are example for gustatory images. In our poem, green boughs and grove are example for visual images. Blended notes is an example for auditory images. The second one is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words in lines of poetry. For example, the angels not half so happy in heaven when envying her and me. Here, the sound h is repeated in the line. It is an example for alliteration. Penrith panthers busy as a bee buzz by. Round and round the rugged rocks, the ragged rascal ran. Here, the sound r is repeated. The sound p and b is repeated. It is an example for alliteration. Man has made of man is an example for alliteration in our poem. Next one is assonance. This is the repetition of identical or similar vowel sound. This is the repetition of identical or similar vowel sound in a series of words, phrase or syllables. For example, clap your hands and stamp your feet. Here, the vowel sound a is repeated. Try to light the fire. The vowel sound I is repeated. It beats as it sweeps, as it cleans. The vowel sound E is repeated. These are the example for assonance. Poetry is old, ancient, goes back far. It is among the oldest of living things. So old is that no man knows how and why the first poems came. Here the sound O is repeated. Now let us discuss what is rhyming words. Now rhyming words. Rhyming words that sound the same and end the same way. For example, pop and hop, wet and patch, rag and bag, sip and tip. Here the last sounds are repeat, rhyme. Here the last sounds are rhyme together. Another example for rhyming words: cat, rat, bat, that, will, still, frill, jam, bum and stum are the rhyming words. The following words that rhyme together: hat, bat, fun, sun, bee, sea, honey, money. The following words that do not rhyme: gem, star, silly, seek, boy, girl, love, track. The rhyming pattern that is created at the end of the lines of poetry. For example, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece as white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Here the rhyming words, the rhyme scheme is ABCB. If the poem does not have a rhyme scheme, it is considered to be a free verse poem. Another example for rhyme scheme: I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like them in a boat. I do not like them with a goat. I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. The rhyme scheme is AA, BB, CC. Now personification. What is personification? It is giving human qualities to things and ideas. For example, the tree leaves danced in the wind. The chair stood up straight and tall. The car jumped to the finish line. Another example for personification: that bottle of wine is calling my name. The sun is smiling on us today. My computer stubbornly refused to start. The sofa is looking at me invitingly. The rain is dancing on the roof. The example for personification in our poem is: to her fair verse did nature link. Another one, breathes air. Another important point, hyperbole. Hyperbole. A hyperbole is an exaggeration or an overstatement. His feet are as big as boats. I nearly died laughing. And the example for hyperbole in our poem is 1,000 blended notes. The last one is anaphora. It is the repetition of certain words. Example of anaphora: every day, every night, in every way, I am getting better. The word every is repeated. I want to play, I want to run, I want to become an athlete. I want to is repeated. My life is my purpose, my life is my goal, my life is my inspiration, my life is repeated. It is an example for anaphora. And an example for anaphora is: what man has made of man. Friends, shall we stop? See you again. Have a nice day. Stay home. Stay safe.